What's up, team? We're here to talk about the 8 ways that you can improve the way you look, feel, and perform without having to track a single calorie. Now, here's the thing. Depending on your health and fitness goals, you may not even need to track calories, or maybe you don't want to, and that's totally fine. And in my humble opinion, I think a lot of people jump too early into macro and calorie tracking before they've nailed the basics first. Those basics are what we're going to talk about in this video, and trust me, those are the things that lay the foundation for everything else. Think of it kind of like a video game. So the habits we're going to talk about can be the level 1 boss that you need to beat before you jump into level 2 stuff, which could be your tracking process. And honestly, if you just stick to what I'm about to share and you do it consistently, you're setting yourself up for a pretty solid foundation. Okay, let's dive right into it. Let's talk about number 1, which is something that I suggest most of my clients to do at the beginning of their coaching journey. And that is to do a pantry clean out. Now, Berardi's first law, if you don't know John Berardi, he's the founder of Precision Nutrition. His law states that if a food is in your house or possession, either you, someone you like, or someone that you marginally tolerate is going to end up eating it, which is a great thing if those are healthy, nutritious foods, and probably a bad thing if those are foods that are less favorable to optimal health. So next weekend, take an hour or two, try to get rid of the more processed, less nutrition foods that are hanging out in your house, or put them away somewhere that is going to be difficult to reach, and restock the house with more nutrient dense foods that are going to be more beneficial for you. And the reason we want to do this is we want to make it more likely that you do the right behavior, which is to eat healthy foods, and less likely that you do the wrong behavior by choosing less ideal food sources. Some foods are more nutritious than other, and we all have a moment where our willpower meter runs low and we end up choosing the less ideal option instead of grabbing something that's better for us. We're essentially here building a system that will reliably create the right outcome without having to rely on willpower to make it happen. Now, we're not talking about choosing specific foods yet, but we're going to go into habit number 2, which is to put down your fork. The reason you want to do that is obviously because we want to focus on chewing our foods properly when we're eating. For one, to better connect with our satiety signals, feel when we are starting to get food, and also so that we better appreciate eating the delicious foods that we cook. If you're trying to control your calories without tracking, eating until you're 80% full is going to be a great cue for you to start slowing down eating. And a bonus point, your digestive system is going to thank you. Now, at number 3, we're talking about cutting down alcohol. Not only does casual drinking add empty calories, but it also messes up with our ability to make healthy choices. On top of that, it only takes 1 or 2 drinks to mess up your sleep quality. And the thing is, many people that I've worked with have overall decent nutrition approaches, but then when you look at their calorie intake from alcohol, it's enough to kind of derail all of the progress that they could be getting from eating healthy. So you have to be careful with that. Now, I start talking more specifically about what you should be eating. And number 4 is about putting protein as a priority within every single meal that you eat. I could easily make the argument that protein is the most important nutrient for health and performance. We can definitely unpack that in more details another day. But every meal that you eat, either it be an actual meal or a snack, should contain 1 to 2 palm size of protein. So we're talking about 25 to 50 grams per meal. Coming in at number 5, we're going to talk about the importance of fiber. So we're talking about fruits, vegetables, whole grains. High fiber foods tend to 1, be low in calories, 2, super nutrient dense, and 3, pretty filling, which is a great combination if you're trying to control the calories you're eating. Now, the goal will be to aim for 1 to 2 fistful size of fruits and vegetables, prioritizing vegetables at every meal, considering that we're eating 3 to 4 meals per day. This should give you a pretty good starting point, both to cover your fiber intake as well as your nutrient intake. Now, if you focus on protein and fibrous foods, you're going to have a very solid foundation to build a healthy plate around. Then you have to add a little bit of carbs and a little bit of fat to round it out, depending on your preferences and your goals. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, we're talking about number 6, is going to be to limit highly processed foods that are low in nutrient density. As a reminder, there's no food that can't fit into a healthy diet. But if you're constantly eating highly processed foods, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to overconsume calories and not hit your nutrient targets for the day. So think about stuff like chips, sweets, over-processed snacks, and desserts. Like we said, the calories add up fast with very little nutritional value. Now, number 7 is to focus on sleep quality. We could do an entire episode on the benefits of a good night's sleep. But if we focus on two things that poor sleep quality is going to do from a nutrition perspective, it's going to, one, make it more likely that you succumb to the food cravings that you have. And two, it's going to mess up your hunger hormones, making you feel more hungry than you normally would if you had a good night's sleep. And finally, with number 8, eat more home cooked meal. Eat at home more often. It's so much easier to control the calories that you're eating, even if you're not tracking, if you're eating a meal at home instead of eating out. Restaurant food is notoriously packed with hidden calories. A meal that would typically be 500 calories, let's say, is easily going to be bumped up to 800 or even 1,000 calories simply because of some of the stuff they'll put in the meal, like extra fat, extra salt, extra sugar, just to make it more tasty so that you enjoy it and want to come back to the resto. Even the healthy options on a restaurant menu could be deceiving. I'm not saying restaurant food is always bad. I'm just saying if you eat at home more often, you're more likely to be able to control your calories without tracking. Keep the resto for a couple of occasions every week or every other week and try to make your own meals. Bring your Tupperwares to work, and so on. So that's the list. This is the kind of stuff that we all need to focus on, whether we're tracking or not. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're diligent and consistent with this may be plenty to allow you to hit your health, fitness, and performance goals. And you may not need to work your way up to, say, level 2 and start tracking. Or on the flip side, if you want some sort of springboard to jump into tracking your calories and your macros eventually, and when you start tracking, it's going to make the whole process that much easier. Now, what if you do all of this pretty consistently and you want to start dabbling into tracking? In the next video, what I'll do is I'll talk about different tracking strategies that you could use to get started, from a more minimalist approach to a pro tracking where you keep tabs on everything that you put in your mouth.